Everything was perfect, at least to the obvious guest watching the union of the Mafia king Jeon Jungkook and Levi and the daughter of a powerful businessman. Your hands trembled beneath the delicate lace gloves, the weight of the veil sealing your identity. As you stood beside the Mafia king, you could barely breathe as the priest recited the sacred vows, your father's warning ringing in your ears. No one must know, just say I do. If you mess this up, you know what will happen. Your heart pounded as you stood at off the grand altar. The heavy veil obscured your vision slightly, but you could still make out of the imposing figure standing just a few feet away. You're about to be husband Gian Franco, the ruthless mafia king, the man your father had promised your sister to. But at the last moment, just as the wedding march played and the grand doors opened, your father had whispered his betrayal. Your sister ran away. You have to take her place. Don't you dare refuse. The breath gushed in your throat. How could he do this? You had never been meant to marry Jungkook. Your sister had agreed. She had prepared for this day, but now you were the one standing here, moments away from becoming the wife of the most feared man in the underworld. Jungkook's sharp, dark eyes bored into you. As he stood at the altar, his expression unreadable, his presence was suffocating, his aura thick with authority and danger. He was known for being ruthless, for making men beg for mercy with just a glance, and now you were his bride. Your hand felt clammy, your mind screaming at you to run, but you knew there was no escape. Your father had sealed your fate. If you refused, it wouldn't be just you who suffered, your whole family would pay the price. So you obeyed. When the priest asked if you would take John Jungkook as your husband, your voice quivered, but you whispered, I do. Jungkook's deep voice followed steady and unwavering. I do. The applause was deafening as the priest smiled warmly. You may now kiss the bride. Your heart stopped. The moment had come, the moment when Jungkook could lift your veil and see the truth. Your hands clenched into fist at your sides. Your breath couched in your throat. You braced yourself for the inevitable, the revelation, the rage. But it never came. Instead, Jungkook tilted his head slightly, a smile playing at the corner of his lips as he leaned close. His deep, commanding voice sent a shiver down your spine. I will skip it. A wave of confusion crashed over you, but before you could react, Jungkook turned smoothly, addressing the guest with a polite note. Thank you all for attending our wedding. Polite, collected, deceptively calm. Then, without another word, he grasped your wrist, his finger cold as steel as he pulled you away from the altar. The guest continued to clap, blissfully unaware of the tension crackling in the air. The step faltered as he dragged you through the grand hall. You tried to keep up, your heartbeat hammering against your ribs. Every guest still believed they had witnessed a normal wedding, yet you knew you were trapped with a husband who was far more dangerous than you had ever imagined. As soon as you stepped outside, the cool night air hit you, but it did nothing to soothe the panic rising inside you. Jungkook didn't stop until he reached the sleek black car parked outside the lavish venue. The moment doors opened, he swiftly swooped you inside, following closely behind. The door locks with a quiet click. The soft hum of the engine vibrated beneath you as the convoy of sleek black Mercedes began to move. Jungkook's army of cars escorting you both away from the grand wedding venue. Your hands rested in your lap, your body stiff beneath the heavy wedding gown. You could feel Jungkook's presence beside you, calm and readable. Then he spoke. Ryan, your name fell from his lips like a whisper. Sharp gasp escaped you as you squeezed your eyes shut instinctively, bracing yourself for what was coming next. But nothing happened. The weight of your veil still covered your face. He hadn't lifted it. Yet your heart pounded so violently it felt as if it would burst from your chest. Jungkook exhaled through his nose, amused, but there was a sharp edge to it. His fingers drummed against his knees, slow and deliberate. Here, wifey? His voice was low, almost teasing, but laced with something different. You swallowed hard, your throat dry, but you didn't dare answer. The car moved steadily through the dimly lit streets. The city lights flashing past outside his Gwen followed closely, their presence ensuring no escape. Tongue didn't speak again, letting the tension testing wherever it is between you. He didn't need to. His silence alone was enough to drown you in fear. The car door opened, and the cool night air rushed over you, making you shiver beneath the heavy wedding gown. You hesitated for a brief second before stepping out, struggling to manage the long dress and thick veil that still concealed your face. Young stood beside the car watching you, then to your surprise he took a step back and puffed slightly, extending his arms like a gentleman. Welcome home, wife. His voice was deep, smooth, and laced with something unreadable, but you couldn't even see him properly through the long veil covering your vision. Your heart pounded as you blindly followed his guidance towards the grand entrance of the mansion, but the weight of the gown and your restricted sight made walking difficult. The sharp heels beneath your feet didn't help either, and then your heel caught on the hem of your dress. Your body tilted forward at an alarming speed. Panic shot through you. Oh my god, I'm going to break my nose on my wedding night. But before your face could collide with the unforgiving marrow floor, something strong, an unyielding hook around your stomach. You gasped as your body was lifted off the ground like a piece of wood. Hung midair, your veil still covering your face, you had no idea what just happened. It took you a moment to process it. Your Jungkook had hooked you by the waist, one arm curled under your stomach, leaving you dangling like some helpless sack of rice. For a few seconds, there was only silence. His tongue clicked in amusement, his foot tightening slightly. You almost ruined that pretty little face of yours, wife. Your face burned with embarrassment, but before you could even attempt to wiggle free, Jungkook threw you over his shoulder effortlessly, one arm securing your legs while the other resting lazily in his pocket. Let's not waste any more time. And with that, he carried you through the grand doors like you were nothing more than a fragile possession he had just acquired. The grand bedroom was nothing like you expected. You thought the ruthless Mafia King Jungkook would have a dark, intimidating space, maybe all black walls, bulletproof windows, and weapons displayed like trophies in street. The room was warm, cozy, even the soft glow of bedside lamp cast golden hues over the expensive wooden furniture. A plush grey rug covered the floor, and the massive bed looked like a cloud of comfort. None of it matched the terrifying image people painted of Jeon Jungkook. But before you could take it all in, your world suddenly tilted. Jungkook dropped you onto the giant bed, not harshly, but enough to make you bounce slightly. You gasped, clutching your dress. Jungkook raised a brow, clearly amused. You can stop gasping every 5 seconds, Whitey. You are not in a horror movie. You're pushing yourself up. Easy for you to say. You carried me like a wooden plank. Jungkook lips twitched. Unbuttoning his suit jacket, he mewed. You ungrateful. You were about to face plant the floor. I saved you. You could have been more gentle. You went, annoyed, adjusting your dress. Jungkook stood at the edge of the bed, watching you with raised brow, clearly amused. He rolled his sleeves up, revealing his forearms as he spoke. And then he laughed. Jungkook actually laughed, a soft chuckle that made his bunny-like teeth peek out. Your eyes widened. You had heard countless terrifying things about him, heartless, ruthless, a monster who crushed anyone who dared to cross him. But here he was laughing. Your lips parted in disbelief. You laugh. Jungkook stopped, running a hand through his dark hair. What do you think? I'm a robot? Yes, you blurted out before you could stop yourself. He blinked, then another laugh, this time fuller. His shoulders shaking slightly. You gasped again. Jungkook sounded dramatically stepping forward and placing his hands on either side of you, gazing you in. His face was mere inches from yours. Dark eyes twinkling with mischief. Your stomach twisted as you followed his line of sight, and that's when it hit you. Your veil was gone in the heat of his struggle. It had slipped away, now resting in a forgotten heap on the bed. Your breath hissed. He could see your face, not your sister's, not the woman everyone believed he had married. You. His gaze dragged over your features, studying, memorizing, but there was no anger, no rage, no immediate threats. Well, well, his voice was softer now, almost thoughtful. Look like the little pet isn't who she's supposed to be. Your hands curled into fist, a lump formed in your throat, just a slow, unsettling amusement. You knew. Your voice came out shakier than you intended. Jaguk tilted his head, lips curling slightly. Of course I knew. The words knocked the air out of you. Then why? Why had he played along? Why hadn't he confronted you at the altar? Your fingers twitched. You just let this happen. You grabbed his wrist, frustration. Jungkook suddenly grinned, leaning down so close that your nose is almost brushed. If you keep gasping like that, YP, I might think you are falling for me already. Your face burned, making him grin even wider. He was enjoying this. Then, as he shrugged off his suit jacket, your breath couched in your throat. Beneath the expensive fabric, the unmistakable barrel of a peeked from his belt. Your entire body froze. Jungkook turned fully, his voice deep, teasing. You look like you just saw a ghost, wifey. But then you couldn't speak. The world around you blurred as your gaze locked onto that metallic body. God knows when he would pull it out. Maybe now, maybe later. Your knees felt weak. Was this how it would end? Slowly, deliberately, he reached back, his finger brushing the glistening metal lightly. Then he pulled it out. Your breath hissed. He spun it effortlessly between his fingers before leaning in so close that his lips almost grazing your ear. Scared? He whispered. You flinched, then you gasped again when he suddenly flicked the safety on and shoved it into the drawer beside the bed. Your wide eyes darted to his as he chuckled. Relax, wife, I don't. My belongings. Your mouth fell open. Belongings? Yaku ruffled your hair like you were some lost kitten, his grin widening at your indigent glare. Get some sleep, he murmured, voice low and full of unspoken promises. You will need it. Saying that, he walked away, leaving you standing there, heart pounding, mind spinning, and cheeks burning from both fear and frustration. You had just married a madman, and you weren't sure if you were more afraid of him or the fact that your heart was beginning to race for entirely different reasons. You exhaled sickly, looking towards the door where he had carelessly tossed the metal frame, the same frame you had been convinced would your life minute ago. You were still alive, but for how long? The sounds of a door clicking open made you jolt. Yamuk emerged from the closet, now in plain white t-shirt and black silk pants. His usual deadly aura was still there, but the contrast between his soft-looking clothes and his sharp gaze made your brain malfunction. Your lips parted in disbelief, the restless Mafia king in pajamas. He raised a brow, noticing you staring. What now? You kept trying to regain some control over your racing thoughts. Nothing, just I thought you would sleep in a suit or something. Jungkook's lip twitched, and to your horror, he actually grinned. Do you think I'm a Batman? Your jaw dropped slightly. Well, you do have the whole scary billionaire act going on. You're something else, wife. Jungkook let out a low chuckle, shaking his head. Then, as if it was the most normal thing in the world, he walked over to the massive bed and flopped onto it, stretching like a lazy cat. You gasped again, jumping out of the bed. But he didn't care. His arm rested over his eyes, his toned stomach peeking out slightly, as his shirt lifted just enough to reveal a tempting glimpse of his abs. Your brain short circuited. This was illegal. He was illegal. You swallowed, stepping back. Where am I supposed to sleep? Jungkook peeked at you from under his arms, looking almost innocent. Where else? Here. He patted the empty space beside him, your whole body stiffened. There is couch, right? He signed dramatically, rolling onto his side. The couch is for guests. My wife sleeps here. You felt your soul leave your body. He wasn't serious. He couldn't be serious. You eyed the giant bed, then him. It was huge. There was more than enough space for both of you to sleep without even touching, but still sleeping beside him. As if sensing your hesitation, Jacob smirked. Relax, baby. I don't bite. You gulped. He let the words sink in before his mouth widened. Unless you ask. Your entire face went in flames. This man was going to beat the death of you. Your heart hammering in your chest when Jungkook's phone rang. He barely glanced at the screen before answering, putting it on speaker. Mr. John, a familiar voice chirped from the other side, one that made your blood boil on the spot. Your sister. I assume everything went smoothly. She asked, her voice way too cheerful for someone who had just traded you in her place. Jungkook leaned back against the headboard, his expression unreadable. Your flight arrangements are set, a luxury apartment, a business startup, and every facilities you requested, it's all waiting for you in Paris. Your stomach twisted. Paris? What dream? Ah, finally, your sister giggled. I can't believe it's real. And my boyfriend, he's so excited too. It's like a dream come true, Mr. John. Your face clenched. She really did it. She really threw you into a mafia marriage just to settle her dream life abroad. Your ear buzzed with rage. Before Jaco could respond, you snatched the phone from his hand. You selfish, backstabbing, evil little. Oh, finally found out, huh? Took you long enough. Your sister cooed mockingly, your vision blurred with fury. How could you do this to me? You knew this marriage was supposed to be yours, but you just ran away and left me to. Relax, sis. I didn't run, I just made a better deal. You guessed, better deal? Think about it, she sighed. You get to be the wife of billionaire mafia king, dangerous, powerful, and also handsome. And I get to live my perfect life in Paris. Win-win, right? Your hands shook. You are unbelievable. Come on, don't act like a victim, she cut you off. You always play the good girl. Now take responsibility and enjoy your life with him. Who knows, maybe you will even fall for him? To breathe his Jungkook, who had been completely silent, suddenly smirked at your reaction. His dark eyes flickered with amusement as he watched you from. That made you more furious. You turned back to the phone. I swear if I ever see your face again, I will. Oops, my flight's boarding. Gotta go. Be a good wife now. Bye, Suzy. Click. The call ended. You were fumbling, shaking with rage. Cute. Jungkook chuckled. You had snapped towards him. Cute. See, just threw me into a mafia wedding like I was disposal, and you think it's cute? He shrugged. I don't see a problem. You are my wife now. Your mouth fell open. That's your takeaway from all this? Jungkook leaned closer, eyes twinkling with mischief. Then what? You want me to send my man to bring her back? You faltered, his smile deepened. No? Then stop winning, wifey. I hate you. You created your fate, but Jungkook simply leaned back with a lazy grin. You will survive. Your hands peeled into fist. You really had married a madman. Jungkook suddenly stood up, his movement swift and purposeful. You instinctively flinched. Stepping back, he paused for a fraction of a second, his sharp eyes catching your reaction before he shook his head in amusement. Relax, wifey, I'm not going to eat you. He swallowed hard as he walked to the massive wardrobe, opening it effortlessly. He rummaged through something before pulling out a box. Turning back to you, he walked forward, his stride slow and deliberate. Your eyes darted between him and the box in his hand. Something about the way he carried it, so casually yet with intent, made your stomach twist in unease. He stopped in front of you and extended the box. Take it. You didn't move. Your mind instantly conjured the worst possibilities. Jungkook raised an eyebrow at your hesitation. It's not that what you are thinking, wifey. Then what is it? You scowled as he let out a deep sigh before grabbing your hands and placing the box in them himself. His hands were warm, firm, yet oddly gentle against yours. Your sister told me to give it to you on our wedding night. Your heart judged. You looked up at him, eyes wide. Did she left this for me? Jungkook noted his expression unreadable. You stared down at the box, your fingers trembling slightly. What the hell was inside? You threw the box at him. Jungkook cast it effortlessly. He was laughing while your face burning when something else falls from the box cast your eye. Slightly worn out photograph frowning. You carefully picked it up. It was an old faded picture of two children, a little girl and a boy no older than 8, sitting on a tiny plastic chair playing home. Your fingers trembled. The little girl was you, and the boy you breathed his. The boy had messy dark hair, round cheeks, and the soft bunny-like smile, one you hadn't seen in years. Your childhood neighbor, your cookie. You flipped the picture over, and your eyes widened. The messy handwriting scrawled across the back. So as you got your house play husband city, now enjoy like a real home. Your sister teasing words felt like a punch to your stomach. Your mind reeled, memories floating back. Your childhood had been simple and happy, filled with days of playing house with your best friend Cookie. You used to boss him around, making him play the role of a husband, while you pretend to cook and take care of your dolls. And Cookie, sweet, obedient Cookie, would sign dramatically, but always listen. Then one day he left. His family moved abroad just like that, no warning, no goodbyes. He left crying, days drawn into weeks, clutching that tiny locket in your hands, the exact same one you had once given him, saying, "Keep this with you forever, Cookie. So that's whenever you see it, you will remember me, so you will never forget me." Back then, you never thought that goodbye would be the last. You spent years hunted by one question: where did he go? And now he was standing right in front of you. You felt the blood drain from your face as realization struck you like lightning. Slowly, instantly, you lifted your gaze to the man standing before you. Jungkook was silent, watching you intentionally, a knowing smirk playing at his lips. Your breath couched as you noticed something you hadn't before hanging around his neck, glinting under the soft bedroom light was your locket. The same tiny locket you had given him all those years ago. Your heart pounded violently. Your voice was barely a whisper. You knew. Of course, Jungkook smiled deepened. You flinched. Since when? Since the moment I saw you desperately trying to fix your broken locket a week ago. He stepped closer, tilting his head. Your stomach twisted. Then why didn't you say anything? He hummed, reaching up to unclasp the locket with slow, deliberate movements. He walked behind you, gently fastened it around your neck. Instead, his breath was warm against your skin because I wanted to see when you would recognize me, wifey. You shivered this whole time. You had thought you were being forced into a marriage with a ruthless mafia king, but the truth was far more terrifying because the man before you, your husband, was not just the feared John Jungkook, he was your cookie. Your fingers trembled as they touched the locket around your neck. You made believe yourself years ago that he had long forgotten you. Yet here he was, Cookie, and he had never forgotten you. Your heart pounded in confusing disbelief in something else, something that you didn't want to name. Jungkook moved to stand in front of you again, arms crossed, watching your every reaction with dark amusement. "What's wrong, wifey? That got your tongue?" Your lips parted, but no words came out. "You." Your voice finally broke through the haze of shock. "You should have told me." You sobbed his chest, but he didn't even budge, standing as solid as rock. Jungkook chuckled, eyes twinkling with mischief. "Why? Would you have married me willingly then?" "Of course not." "Exactly." Your face burned, frustration bubbling inside you. "So what? You just decided to trap me in this marriage? That's not fair, Jungkook." At the sound of his name rolling off your tongue, his playful smirk faltered for a brief second, replaced by something unreadable. But before you could process it, he leaned in, his face so close you could feel his warm breath against your lips. "Life isn't fair, sweetheart." He murmured, his gaze dropped to your lips for a split second before he pulled away with a smirk grin. Your breath came out in a sharp exhale. "You are still a bossy brat," he mused, shaking his head, "even after all these years, and you are still annoying." Your jaw clenched, Jungkook grin widened, "And yet you married me." Your eye twitched. "Correction, my father forced me marry after you." Jungkook's expression darkened at that, his playful aura vanished. "I would have taken you regardless," he said, voice low and firm. A shiver ran down your spine, your heart pounded, hands tightening around the photo as tears welled up in your eyes with a choked sob. You dropped the picture and lunged yourself at him. His body was warm, firm, safe. You buried your face in his shoulder, inhaling his scent as soul wrecked through you. "You left," you whispered, voice muffled against his shirt. "You left. I never came back. I thought you forget me. I thought I lost you forever." Jungkook let out a sharp breath, tightening his grip on you. "I never forget you. Not for a single second," he moaned, his voice rough. Your fingers curled into his shirt, tears soaking the fabric. "The little boy who used to play house with you, the one who let you boss him around, who promised to always listen to you, who accepted the locket with the biggest screen and swore he would never take it off. The little boy had grown into this man, the feared Mafia king, the husband you had been forced to marry, your cookie. A fresh wave of tears fell, and Jungkook cursed under his breath, pulling you even closer as if he could shield you from the past itself. His hands trembled slightly as they ran up and down your back, soothing you. Breathe, sweetheart, I'm here now, he muttered, pressing his lips to the top of your head. You sniffled, pulling back slightly to look at him, eyes glossy. You really never forget me? Jungkook let out a shaky laugh, reaching up to tuck a stray strand of hair behind your ear. How could I? You were my first everything. A deep, overwhelming warmth spread through your chest. You swallowed, blinking up at him. Then why did you act so smart? Why didn't you just tell me? This was way more fun. His lips curved into smirk. Your eyes twitched. John Jungkook. Before you could finish, he suddenly leaned in and lifted you off the ground, effortlessly carrying you in his arms. A startled yelp left your lips, hands flying to his shoulder. Jungkook smirked, his usual cockiness returning. Since you finally remember me, we should celebrate our reunion properly, don't you think? Your face burned. Put me down. He only laughed, carrying you towards the bed. As much as he was the ruthless Mafia king to the world, to you he would always be cooking.